don't even know where Jack is right now.
Yeah, he's avoiding me. That's where he is. Can I work in with you guys?
You'll knock yourself up.
I think he hates because I talk so much. It bothers him, you know? But when I'm in the Bronx, I have no one else to talk to but Poopsie. So when I'm around other humans, I tend to blab a lot.
No, you don't.
I do. Can you throw a couple of more 45s on? Erin, he was being so nice to me, and then I had to bring up the Pacino thing because I don't know. I do that. It's just because I'm insecure, you know? I feel like the only reason he brought me on this cruise is for some Pacino-related shenanigans, and it just gets in my head.
He told me he wanted you to come on this cruise because he didn't want you to spend your first New Year's Eve without your mom alone.
He said that?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that means so much to me. Why didn't I use my twin powers to know that? Do they not work when you're out of the country?
Maybe they don't.
That's why he was mad, because he was being good to me, and I did what I did, and I'm a jerk, and I have to call him, and I'm gonna straighten the whole family's vacation out, I promise. This is so cool!
Komm on, das kannst du doch! Die hat's doch aufgemacht! Push! Push harder!
I was pushing it!
Warning. This show is intended for a mature audience only and may contain harsh language, sexual references, and derogatory terms. Listener discretion is advised.
Screw up, we're looking good guy, we know two guy, good guy. Sure, why not? That is gibberish for hello everyone and welcome back to Terrible Tuesday Movie Night, the show where I watch bad movies so you don't have to. Thank you so much for joining me. Season 2, episode 9. We're heading towards the end of the season. So much more Terrible Tuesday Movie Night this season. Thank you again for Eden for joining me last week on Terrible Tuesday Movie Night for probably one of the best episodes I think I've ever recorded. So that was fun, and we're going to back it in today with the 2011 film, a Happy Madison production. And we're going to get into that because, yeah, we'll get into that a little bit later on about, we've got an Adam Sandler movie this week and Katie Holmes, who I mistakenly thought was, I can't remember who I mistakenly thought it was. I was like, is that Julia Roberts? Is that, Hermione? Who plays Hermione in Harry Potter? I can't remember. I just kept saying, people's names until I got it. Nicole Kidman. I think I said Nicole Kidman at one point, but no, that was Katie Holmes, Adam Sandler, Jack and Jill. And of course, we're going to continue the tradition and play a very visual trailer on an audio podcast. We'll be right back.
In every family, there's one person who drives you a little crazy.
I gotta pick Jill up at 4 a.m.
She comes once a year and she's leaving on Sunday.
But during the holidays,
Jack, no fighting this year.
there's no escaping it when it's your sister,
How we doing?
your twin sister.
Are you going bald? Huh? No, you're getting fatter and your hair doesn't realize it needs to cover more face. Okay.
From the producers of Just Go With It and Grown Ups.
You and Jill are so alike.
We are nothing alike, I promise you.
She isn't subtle.
Jill, this is Otto.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
He's homeless, right? Are you whispering with a bullhorn or something? Everybody hears you.
She isn't shy.
I put a little list together of things I want to do before I leave. Studio tour, beach, horseback riding. Let's go! Oh my God! Maybe I should stay out through Hanukkah.
And she isn't leaving.
She's forwarding her mail to us now.
What's this about a twin?
Oh, Jackie has a twin sister.
Identical or fraternal?
Nocturnal, like a bat.
Seriously, honey? Can't you try a little harder? She's your sister. Guess who is taking you to the Lakers game?
Finally some twin time.
Compliments of Mr. Pacino.
What's this? This is insane, man. You gotta call him. Oh, will you stop, Reddy? You know all he wants to do is play Twister with your sister.
Family
Daddy, you know how to jump rope?
We were the Double Dutch Kings.
is forever.
I crave this. Family time.
Please don't destroy my pool.
Adam Sandler is
Your sister and I grew up on the same streets. When I look at her, I see me.
When I look at her, I see me too.
Jack and Jill.
Do you and Daddy have twin powers?
Some twins can feel when the other one's hurt.
I didn't feel it. A little harder.
No, Jill, stop it. He's kidding.
What? Oh!
Feel that, Daddy?
I actually did feel something there. Pride in my son.
Alrighty, that was the video trailer on an audio podcast of Jack and Jill. Now, okay, first impressions. This is, I will say, the freshest I've been from watching the movie literally 2 minutes ago to now recording the episode, now being 6 minutes into the episode. Fresh. And the thing about pre-recording these, particularly when I was week to week, was these are fresh reactions. Like, I am fresh from watching this movie just about 10 minutes ago. I'm coming into this episode defending this movie. Spoiler alert, I actually enjoyed myself. I don't know whether it's the Terrible Tuesday movie night tint. We've talked about this before, where I've had bad experiences, and my God, we have covered some El Garbanzo this season, but I actually thoroughly enjoyed myself. It's not a perfect movie by any stretch of the imagination, and it's not that bad if you think about it. And this, by the way, was 2011. We'll get to all the contractually obligated things in a moment. But yeah, 2011, in the thick of the Happy Madison era. And if you look at the Happy Madison era of Adam Sandler's work, there is a lot of worse options that you can choose in terms of this. But let's get into the mandatory requirements. This movie came out November 11th, 2011, 11/11/11, because of course it did. Why would it not? I just realized that. Dennis Dargan directed this movie. Adam Sandler plays both Jack and Jill. He plays both of them, with Andy Goldberg, of all people, being Adam Sandler's stand-in. Most of the scenes, by the way, were filmed by Adam Sandler, and Andy Goldberg was just the stand-in when they were both moving at the same time. So, there you go. Katie Holmes is Erin. It is not Hermione from Harry Potter. Al Pacino is in this movie as well. He plays himself. Al Pacifico is betterly known as Eldie Tong as Sophia. Her first and only film. She also starred in a 2016 short called Margaret and the Moon, but this is the only real feature-length film that she has done. And Rowan Chad as Gary, again, first movie that he has done too, and he's only done 7 other movies other than this, which I'm actually surprised that this is a fresh slate of movies in the Happy Madison era. The plot of this film: Jack Sadelstein is a successful advertising executive in Los Angeles with beautiful wife and kids who dreads one event each year, the Thanksgiving visit from his fraternal sister, Jill. Jill's neediness and passive aggressiveness is maddening to Jack, turning his life into turmoil. Okay, look. Now, I'm not going to mince words here. This is thick in the Happy Madison era, and I keep bringing this up. Now, I have reviewed an Adam Sandler movie before, not on this podcast, but in an incarnation in a former production life. I have reviewed the 2015 Ridiculous 6 movie that was in Adam Sandler's Netflix era. Now, the difference between the Netflix era and the Happy Madison era, Adam Sandler was taking himself seriously in this era, but it wasn't... Like, his movies weren't serious. Like, he wasn't producing serious content. He was producing these silly, slapsticky movies that were absurd and over the top. And if you have that mindset coming into this movie, this is pure Happy Madison era Adam Sandler. I don't know what to tell you, because that is what this is. Now, I've got a few bits of trivia about this movie, as well as just going through, like I said, the Adam Sandler Happy Madison era, just going through his films. I'm just pulling them up. You know, he's got things. The Ridiculous Six was the beginning of his quote-unquote serious era. So he's got that last film, I would say, of the Happy Madison era, I would say would be Blended, maybe? Was Blended a serious film? I don't think I've seen Blended. I'm trying to look at it. Blended, after a blind date, a man and a woman sees themselves stuck at the resort for their families. Yeah. I would say that was the last Happy Madison era film, Blended in 2014. Everything after that, sort of the Hotel Transylvania 2, Pixels, which is an interesting film, The Ridiculous Six, The Do-Over, Sandy Wexler, you know, that sort of stuff after 2014 was Happy Madison era, particularly things like Men, Women and Children. Top 5, I believe, was outside of the Happy Madison era. But yeah, you've got Blended, Grown Ups 2, That's My Boy, Jack and Jill, Zookeeper, Just Go With The Grown Ups, Funny People, Don't Mess With the Zohan, who he played the main character. That is also quintessential Happy Gilmore era. You know, Click, which was an awful movie, which we need to talk about at some point in this thing. You know, Splinglish, 51st Dates, Anger Management. You know, this sort of movies that were the Happy Gilmore starting in 96, all the way through to, you know, things like The Water Boy and Little Nicky and stuff like that. You know, these over-the-top movies. Now, the way I've seen a few of these, so I'm going to sort of compare this movie to another movie in its similar vein, 50 First Dates. Now, I've seen 50 First Dates many times, and the difference between... The reason why I liked 50 First Dates at the time, but I don't think it holds up, is because he wasn't quite taking himself seriously yet in 2004 when that movie came out. But if you look back on his catalogue of work, and if you look at this and you go, this movie makes sense more so than 50 First Dates. So after 50 First Dates was Spinglish, and Spinglish was back to that classical thing. 50 First Dates was his experimental, all right, let's test the waters here and see where we're up to. But this movie was, back to his original roots. And I think going back to this slapsticky, non-serious movie is so good. This movie is actually really... it's not great. There are a few things here that, you know, I could do without. I could do without, you know, the fact that it does go on for a little bit too long. The Al Pacino side story, while the Al Pacino side quest is good, that does drag on to a little bit too long. The cruise, I think, was a ploy to keep that side story going a little bit too long. Other than that, it's a rom-com. Like, I can't really do much. I can't really criticize it much for that. Now, Al Pacifico, in particular, is interesting in this film. He does not need to be here. But the funny thing is, he fits in so well to this movie. He kind of gets the brief a little bit. And that Duncan Al Pacino Frappuccino ad at the end. Oh my god, if I could pull up a clip of that, I will. This is not going well. When I divert on this show, it doesn't necessarily end well. Dunkachino is what it was called. Oh, can I pull this up? It's 1 minute and 30 seconds long. Okay, there we go. I'm going to play this clip. Let's see what this clip is.
Something's brewing at D&D.
Wow!
Al Pacino!
It's not Al anymore. It's Dunk.
Dunkachino?
Don't mind if I do.
What's my name?
Dunkachino.
It's a whole new game.
Dunkachino.
You want creamy goodness? I'm your friend. Say hello to my chocolate blend. Attica, hoo-ah, lottie light. This whole trial is out of sight. They pull me back in with hazelnut too. Caramel swirl, I know it was you. Everyone wants my Dunkachino. Can't get enough of my Dunkachino. Kids from 7 to 17 lining up for my Dunkachino. What's my name?
Dunkachino.
Dunkachino.
And boom, there you have it. It's actually 32 seconds, so I gotta lose 2 seconds. Maybe you can tell me what part you would lose, but I think we are getting there.
Burn this.
I'm sorry?
This must never be seen by anyone.
If you didn't like all those close-ups, we can. No, this is not the final cut. There's no doubt we can.
All copies. Destroy them.
You want me to play it again?
Has anybody seen this?
Nobody has seen this.
They have to be found and talked to.
All right. To be honest, I showed my wife.
No
She
good.
couldn't believe.
No good.
Like, you can't be mad at that. That is the whole point of this movie, is to be silly like that. Like, I don't know. I think also the hate for this movie, I don't understand where it comes from. Like, this has, spoiler alert, it's higher than the IMDb Classic. This does have a 3.3 on IMDb, and I am defending this movie. I will defend this movie so far. I will say it is one of the better movies we've seen on this season, because we have seen some utter crap. Also, last week was Troll 2. So we go from Troll 2 being low-key the worst thing I've seen to this being, I don't know. It does add a bit of a smile to the face. Now, in context to 2011, if you think about it, 2011 had such low standards in cinema too, if you think about it. It has Paul, the movie Paul, Untouchable, movies like 30 Minutes or Less, which is on Netflix. It has also got Midnight in Paris, Something Borrowed, Zookeeper, which apparently is a thing. Terrible Tuesday, Movie Night Connection, also in 2011, saw New Year's Eve. So there you go. It also had great movies like Geek Charming and Mars Needs Mums. And We Bought a Zoo. So I don't. And remember, We Bought a Zoo goes for 2 hours. So 2011, if you think about it, 2011 didn't have great cinema overall. 2011, sorry, I think I said 2012. 2011 didn't have great cinema, but this was sort of just the refreshing sort of take. Now, the hate that this movie got, I've got the trivia here. Now, I can't believe that this movie apparently won every single category in the Razzies this year. Worst Picture, Worst Director, Worst Actor as Adam Sandler, Worst Actress as Adam Sandler, Worst Supporting Actor, Worst Supporting Actress, Worst Screen Couple, and Worst Prequel, Remake, Ripoff, or Sequel, Worst Screenplay, Worst Ensemble, but it still holds the record for the amount of wins, quote-unquote wins, that it's had, with 10 awards of the Worst, including Worst Picture in 2011, previously held of I Know Who Killed Me, that had 8 awards in 2007. Now, I will give this movie one thing. Adam Sandler was paid $20 million to make this movie, and this is the result we got from that. I will say that, yeah, I kind of agree that it is a bit of an underwhelming performance for $20 million. I don't think that Sony Pictures got necessarily their money's worth. I mean, they got 2 actors and / actresses from it, but 20 mil to make this at the peak of Happy Madison's career. By the way, there are a lot of cameos in this movie as well that definitely deserve a shout out, like Johnny Depp wearing a Justin Bieber shirt at the Lakers game was actually quite funny to me. The Originally, production wanted to end the gag based on Starbucks Frappuccino, but Starbucks refused, leading them to strike a deal with Dunkin' instead. So Dunkin' actually agreed to be the categories of, the coffee venue of choice. The Dunkin' commercial was the last day of filming. You can clearly tell. And there we go. What other things are here? Al Pacino is speaking French or Spanish. It's just gibberish. As the native speakers, the freshman responds with, "I don't understand." Heather Nielsen was two of Adam's real-life siblings in the role in the deleted scenes. Now here's an interesting one. Originally rated PG by the MPAA for crude and sexual humor, language, comic violence, and brief smoking was amended to crude material including suggestive references, language, and comic violence. This movie, for the deep cut Sandler, Happy Gilmore Productions, this was on the lower end. There was comic violence, quote unquote, but there wasn't really much in the ways of like real violence. There was definitely no swearing of note in this movie, like in other Happy Gilmore productions. But I think that this was definitely the better echelons of movies, and I don't understand where the hate comes from. It's silly. It's meant to be this slapsticky comedy where both would, no one's taking this seriously. Also, I will say, there are and the silly lines like the one that, I'm not Jewish, I'm close, I'm atheist. Like, that's intended to be silly, right? And when Adam Sandler sets himself up on the dating app, where male Adam Sandler sets female Adam Sandler up on the dating app, then the kid busts him for posting a Craigslist ad, like, "You're going to hell, daddy." Like, that's it. He's thirsty, Johnny Depp says. Like, this is just, all of it was just great. It's not you, it's the chimichangas. I mean, me too. We've all had bad experience with chimichangas. Are you afraid to admit that we're connected? Face it, we shared mum's wounds. We're womb mates. That's just disgusting. Come on. Now, one thing I will say, I didn't particularly fall for the beginning and the end credits. I feel like the end credits was overplayed towards the end. Like, we didn't need all of those scenes. I would have been fine without them. They didn't really add any substance to the movie. Like, we get it. They're twins. Like, I get that they had to open up with that sort of stuff, but it just didn't. You really didn't need 10 minutes in the closing credits for that. It was definitely not needed. Excuse me, a bit gassy today. But I don't understand the hate. I know I keep coming back to this. I will say that, not everyone put in the best performance. Al Pacino is known for being the Caitlyn Jenner. Oh, Bruce Jenner. See, they referred to him as Bruce Jenner in this movie. That was right around that time, wasn't it? The whole the Bruce Jenner transitioning into Caitlyn Jenner was right around this time. I don't know. Was it? Was this ahead of its time? Bruce Jenner. I'm gonna look this up. Transformers. Yeah, absolutely. Right. I want to know when. April 2015. Okay, this was before. Okay. So this is interesting. Jenner publicly came out as a trans woman in April of 2015, announcing her next her new name in July. From 2015 to 2016, she starred in reality TV series I Am Kate, which focused on her gender transformation. She was playing a character in, I can't remember what the Broadway show was that Al Pacino got that phone call in there. It was Bruce Jenner at the time. I'm trying to be as delicate as I can, but there's no edging around this because, we're talking about the past. We're talking about 2011 here. Was playing a female role in that play as credited in IMDb as Bruce Jenner. Interesting. And plays a female role on this stage. That's actually interesting. Holy moly, that was before this time. And there were a few references in here that don't necessarily age that well. The ShamWow guy, was that also before its time? I know I should have done in jail. ShamWow guy in jail. 2013. That was 2013 that he went to jail. And the Subway guy, the Jeremy... Oh, not Jeremy Stiller. What's his name? Jeremy, the Subway guy. Jared Frugal, that's his name. Jared Frugal, who's still alive, by the way, went to prison in 2015? Yeah, 2015 he went to jail. So I think that, this movie did kind of age like milk a little bit in terms of the references. But, every movie's going to have that a little bit. It's going to be, that sort of... I don't know how to say that. Kind of, it does need to be sort of known that your references aren't going to age all that well, but two people from the same scene now going to jail for various different things is not great. But hey, you never know these movies when you're writing them. And like I said during the Ridiculous 6 review, when I reviewed that in a former life, I think I don't expect these serious roles from Adam Sandler. I don't turn to Adam Sandler for serious movie roles. I just... You don't. Adam Sandler... Unfortunately, though, I will say unfortunately, Adam Sandler did try and do a plot pivot, and it didn't really work because he tried to take himself more seriously, and you can't suddenly do that. You can't suddenly be like, oh, I'm the Happy Gilmore guy, and now I transition to serious movies. And he surrounded himself with people in the Ridiculous 6 that didn't really help him with that transition. They were really only there for their own needs and wants. And Katie Holmes is great in this movie. She is a bit... I will say about this about Katie Holmes. She's a bit interchangeable. You could put anyone in there and it would be fine, I guess. Like, anyone could play her role. She didn't really add anything too particular, but I'm stuck defending this movie. Hate me in the comments, please, but I actually enjoyed this movie. And again, it could be just the Terrible Tuesday movie night glow, particularly from watching some utter garbage this season, like Crossroads by Britney Spears and Troll 2 last week, and things like, what else have we seen in this 50 Shades of Black? Perfect example. Cinderella. We have seen some garbage, and this was a fun break from that. And that's the thing too, like, a movie could be representative of badly reviewed, but that doesn't, we don't know they're bad. They're going to be not up to our taste in the end. And that's another thing about this show too, it's all subjective. There you go. Art is subjective. Alright, we're going to get on out of here. As you would expect, the wrap up, it is going to be, this is every Adam Sandler Happy Gilmore movie, but that's okay. That's what we came here for, and we got what we delivered. This movie, not perfect. It's definitely not perfect. It's definitely does get long in parts, and the punchlines, they were good in some senses, but they really didn't land on others. And again, the Al Pacino side story did really take too long to develop. I'm going to give this movie a 6 out of 10. I can't believe I'm going to say those words, but it was a fun relief break, and I know that I swear that it is the Terrible Tuesday Movie Night glow that is giving this movie a higher score, but you got to think about it on a level of other movies that I have seen on this season have been utter trash. So it was good to get a little bit of a relief for once in my life. Alright everyone, that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you so much for joining us. A shorter episode this week. Thank goodness. You could do with a bit of a break. You can support this and everything that I do over on my Patreon at patreon.com/Dale Campbell. That's patreon.com/Dale Campbell. You can follow my many Instagram adventures over on my Instagram at the Dale Campbell. That's TheDaleCampbell. Join the Discord and have some discourse over there. bit.ly/Dale Discord. If you've got a recommendation too, let me know in the comments. I'm hoping this gets renewed for a new season. I've had so much fun. We've got 10, 11, and 12. We've got 3 episodes. Well, this episode's in the can. We've got 3 more episodes in the tank to do with a banger season finale. So keen for that season finale. You can buy merch, bit.ly/Dear Hale merch, bit.ly/Dale merch, bit.ly/DALEMERCH, and you can email CampbellDProductions@gmail.com. All business inquiries and feedback welcome there also. Next week is a guest episode, Meet the Spartans, with my sister Divine Kate. But until then, I've been Dale Campbell coming at ya, and we'll see you next time. Bye!